now then.
Hey up.
We are not currently in the shed, as you can probably see from this shot, because at the minute we're going through a bit of a weird patch, a little bit of a weird time, aren't we?
To say the least, yeah.
As you're watching this, the point of sort of time we're in at the minute is that we're going through a bit of a pandemic. COVID-19 coronavirus has hit the UK. The weird thing is that I don't really need to explain it if you're watching from other countries, because this is affecting the entire world. We know at this point there's countries like Italy that are in complete lockdown. At the minute the UK where we are isn't in lockdown, but there are strong government advisements, isn't there?
Yeah, we're probably heading that way, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So I think what we wanted to do is carry on whilst we could. Not carry on regardless, obviously we're making the changes. But we've started making this film, so I think we left some little hints in our thank you video, and thank you again for all the subscriptions. We left a little hint there. We've left some hints on Twitter with the whole punching. We're hopefully going to be filming boxing hares, and that's what we're out to try and do. Given the circumstances, let's see. Now, what we do know is that secretly we've already been out and done some filming at Dovestone Reservoir, RSPB Reserve, on Saddleworth Moor, part of Greater Manchester. So we did go out, didn't we? So we do know we've got some footage. So that's really good. What we're filming there was actually the mountain hares. We have two species of hare in this country, mountain hares and brown hares. We were hoping to go to RSPB St Aidan's, where we know the brown hares are quite, there's quite a big number of them there. Given what's going on at the moment, we haven't been able to make it there, and we're just keeping track on what the advice is. But at times like this, whilst we can still get out, I think one thing that is really important is that we do know that nature and wildlife and being in the outdoors is really, really good for people. Under the current circumstances, whilst we're not in lockdown, we want to encourage people to get out as much as they can. Get out, get in the open whilst we can, and that's what we're doing. And when the time does come, spending time indoors watching into our videos.
Yeah, and we just wanted to bring a little bit of normality, because there isn't really anything normal at the minute. So just go outside in nature where you can, take care, and we're going to be reporting from where we can go, basically, aren't we?
So currently we're at Rodley Nature Reserve, which is the closest reserve to Rosie and I. It's about 10 minutes from my house, literally minutes from Rosie's house.
About 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful little reserve. It's a privately run reserve. It's run by volunteers. Hello,
Pheasant.
Mr. Pheasant. And so we've come here. There is a possibility, a slim possibility, but a possibility we might see some brown hares here. But in the meantime, we're going to get out there, get some great footage of other things as well. All right, guys.
All right, well, keep you posted, and keep watching.
Yeah, stay safe, listen to government advice. Take care.
Okay. Of our mountain hares is poo. So we know they're around here, so obviously they're pooping. So now we just need to find a mountain hare. But in this weather, they really are going to be hunkered down. So it's going to be a real tough job to find them. But we're going to do what we can do. Filming the mountain hares up at Dovestone, the RSPB Nature Reserve that exists in the Peak District. You can see behind me, well, you can kind of see behind me, there's a few boulders that is slowly getting covered by the low cloud. That is the habitat here that mountain hares absolutely love. On a day like this, which is rain and wind, that you can probably tell, the mountain hares are really hunkered down. So we followed a path up and we saw, we got the gist of what we were looking for. We didn't see anything. When we got to the perfect spot, we put everything down and just went and scoped the entire area. We didn't see anything. We were stood for about half an hour. About half an hour we were stood there. And the wind was getting really bad and the rain was just persistent. It looks like I've been thrown in this river. But we thought, you know what, we're going to have to call it. And we thought this would be the first one where we'd say, do you know what guys, we've been unsuccessful. Then, we put all this kit on. We were really disappointed walking back down, but there was nothing we could do. Tom literally just turned to me and went, is that one there on the rock? And I looked, and oh my god, before we even needed to check with the binoculars and scope, we saw one mountain hare. We've come early because we know that they're still going to be in their white plumage, if you like, their white fur. So when we saw it, I think I shed a little tear. Got all my camera up and running, got my long lens on, and just worked my way towards seeing it. And yeah, so happy with the shots that we've got for kind of the weather and sort of how long we've been here. So some facts about mountain hares. They are indigenous to Scotland. I had no idea we actually had them in England as well, but they were actually brought across to England from Scotland, so that's really interesting. It was only sort of a few months ago that I found out that you can see them at Dunstone, so we're really happy that we can see that. They are white at this time of year, so it's March, end of March they're starting to turn from sort of pure white to more dappled white and brown, and then they'll eventually go brown, and that is just to camouflage them in their surroundings. Obviously, white hair, white snow in the peaks, you're just going to not see hardly. And then brown hares in sort of the browny purpley moorland as well are going to be really difficult to see. So we came early just so that we could try and get them in their winter plumage. We didn't get them boxing, which is a shame, but to get anything we were so chuffed. Usually if you do see them boxing, it's actually the females boxing the males, and that's just kind of push them away when the males are getting sort of a bit raunchy for breeding. But yeah, so that's what we're hoping to catch with the brown hares. They're usually they start breeding to the females after their first year. That's when they get that's when they're sexually reproductive. They have between 1 and 3 babies, and a baby hare is called a leveret. As they get older, they can have more, but it's usually between 1 and 3. The biggest threats to hares, but most of the leverets, they've got quite a lot, so it's things like birds of prey will come and take them, foxes, anything that can get their hands on them will get them, and even things like the bad weather, so we've had really bad flooding and things here, and that will really affect them. So yeah, there are a few facts about the mountain hares, and Tom will tell you about the brown hares as well.
Hi guys, so Rosie and I are making our way around the very lovely Rod Lake Nature Reserve, but I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to tell you about what we're here to film, the brown hares. So brown hares are native to the UK, unlike their cousins the rabbits. The rabbits were probably brought over by the Romans many years ago, but they get a little bit more overlooked when people are talking about wildlife and nature. I do think hares get overlooked a little bit, but they're fascinating creatures. So just a few small facts whilst we're having a look around the reserve. The brown hare is the fastest mammal in the UK. It reaches speeds of up to 40 miles an hour, and they're quite big. I do remember the first time I ever saw my first hare, I thought I was looking at a fox. It was that large. They've got some interesting behaviours as well, so that are sort of quite iconic. There's the boxing, which we alluded to quite a lot. There's also the moon gazing. Not a lot is known really about why these are done. The speculation is probably linked to breeding behaviours. So the boxing is actually females that are boxing off the unwanted attention of males. But hares do breed year round. They don't necessarily have a breeding season. But we call them the Mad March hares, and that's mainly because those behaviours that we've talked about happen at this time of year. So just a little bit about what they do as well. So like I say, they don't burrow like the rabbits. They will make small scrapes in the ground, which are called forms, and this is where they will sleep. It's where they will look after their young. The young are called leverets. So like I say, steeped in history. There are also links to the Easter story with hares, and that's why we have the rabbits at Easter time. But beautiful, beautiful animals. So we're going to have a walk around now, see if there's any who can see, and hopefully catch some hares in some action.
Well guys, it's just me riding solo today, filming. So at St Aidan's, watching the brown hare, got some really cool shots of them I think. No boxing unfortunately, but definitely some action of them chasing each other and stuff. So pretty pleased with what I've got because they're quite far away. So I'll just get home and review the footage. Yorkshire's massive with mining heritage, and a lot of our reserves in the area are from that sort of history, got that sort of history. So to see the amount of wildlife that there is now is just amazing. Like I said, I'm watching the hares. In terms of coming to St Aidan's, it's brilliant for families and wildlife enthusiasts and people that just like the outdoors would absolutely love this site. The visitor centre itself, you probably won't be able to see it, it's just behind me, so it's sort of a wooden visitor centre. It's only small, but it's got your tea, coffee, cake, sandwiches, stuff like that. There's baby changing, toilets, and there's a toilet block as well. It's got disabled and pushchair access, so it's brilliant for absolutely anyone to come here. It's open 364 days a year, apart from now, where it's closed for the foreseeable. But this is only due to the virus, so any other time, come and have a look. It's a brilliant site. There's things for kids to do, there's trails, there's spotting sheets, but equally the site's that big that if you're a wildlife enthusiast, you just kind of like to be on your own. There's so many sort of opportunities to go off and see some amazing wildlife.
Right mate, so that's it, mountain hares added to the bucket list. Boom. Hey mate, look at this. Check out my mountain hairdo.
I mean, you're more like a mountain gorilla.
Wow. Rude.